Hey everybody, what's up? We here.
What's going on?
We here.
Let's go live.
Yeah, we is in the building, and it's Tuesday. I knew day, 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
the 25th. All
The
right,
adult hour. Prime
we
time.
just raunches. Won't be. No, the kids still up. It's summer.
Like
But,
two live crew.
Two live crew. Don't stop. Get it. Get it.
As nasty as they want to be.
Mhm. What's up, people? What's going on?
How y'all doing?
Yeah. So, in case y'all, well, I'm gonna put the title up so they can know what we talking about. I don't want to have to.
Give them a little something.
Yeah, do that. So we talked the last 2 weeks about family and being part of the solution, part of the problem. That was basically our avenue we was going in. Was that now? This is also the avenue. Do you feel the black community needs to change? Um, Trying to be the solution to issues we have in the black community. I um I was looking at stuff and like I'm always doing, and I'm in Facebook jail, so I can't do anything on that
Man,
front. I can't
hold
post
on.
anything.
Let's talk about that.
Uh,
How you end up in Facebook jail?
oh, they tell you that?
Nah,
Oh, man, I
nah.
just posted a video. Some black dude was they're looking for a black dude. He's supposed to be a rapper, and he went to the Capitol. No, I told my sister that. That's what it was. Sunday, I told her that. He went to the Capitol with the rest of the idiots that was riding the Capitol.
Oh, back in January?
January 6th, yeah. So
Oh,
they're
okay.
looking for him. They got his picture all over everything. So I posted on the blackmail group, on the blackmail page. I posted, uh, look at this dumbass Nick Nog, and Facebook said that's a hate speech. So I'm like, what the?
Yeah, man. What part? The dumbass or the Nick Nog?
I guess it's a Nick Nog. I don't know.
Well,
I
Nick
mean,
Nog is not
no,
even a word.
no, it is. I looked in the dictionary. It is. I didn't know that, but it
Oh
says an
shit.
ignorant person, and then the other says a black person. So it actually does like
Well, damn.
one, and I didn't know that.
A
I'm a
Nog
Nog.
is a black person.
Yeah.
So it says that in the a
Okay.
Nog is a
Yeah.
black person.
A foolish person, hence a raw and unskilled recruit. That's what I thought it was. And you get down to the meaning in the see right there. It's a what is that? The Longman
The
Dictionary,
Longman
contemporary
Dictionary.
English. It says a very offensive word for a black person.
Holy
So
shit.
I've been black my whole life, and I never knew that I
Never
was.
knew I had people were
Yeah,
calling me Nick
Nick Nogs
Nogs
behind my back.
behind my back. As soon as I walk away, look at this Nick Nog.
Look at this damn Nick.
Had no idea, man.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Had no
So
idea.
I'm
So
in Facebook
Facebook
jail.
knows though.
Yeah, Facebook knew.
And I think it's interesting how, they they feel so good about themselves. It's like, we'll teach him.
Yeah, we're gonna teach a black man
Hey,
what should be offending his ass.
you won't be able to use your Facebook for a little while.
7 days. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be back on
Hey,
Facebook
they proud of themselves. Damn. Okay.
Friday. I'll be back Friday because I think my capital offense happened Thursday night. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'll be back Friday.
All right.
Um, and I will try not to say Nick Nog. I'll
Nick
try not to
Nog.
refer to black people as Nick Nogs again. So
So I wonder if it was a person of a different race would have been. So I want to know if it was the dumbass or the Nick Nog that got you.
they don't give you any kind of
Oh,
explanation
I
other
need
than
some
hate
explanation.
speech. They say a hate speech. So
Wow.
which is crazy. It's
I'm
not.
gonna, I'm gonna have to go to my own social media platform and
Yeah,
just say whatever you want to.
no. But the thing is, look at the person that's saying that and be like, okay, this person cannot be,
Nah, man.
racist towards a
Hey,
black person. He's a black person, so
hey,
okay,
a
whatever.
change is coming where you cannot express yourself
Yeah,
regardless of your
regardless,
race.
hey, that's what it is. That's what this is.
So
You know,
you know,
it's,
you got how Facebook tell you what you can do.
that
Oh man,
hey, that's social media,
hey,
man. They they
hey,
they tell you they will ban you. They will. Hey, they put Trump off of all platforms. So shit,
they told that the president of the United States, a former president of the
former
United States.
president,
So
all
yeah,
platforms. He's gone. So
wow.
but like I said, this is the whole thing about being a solution to the problem we have in the black community. Um, the question, and if I was in be able to be in groups, I would have posted that question. Do you feel the black community needs to change? But since I can't, like
Hey,
I had to go with myself and my voice in my head.
hey, man, that's hey. So, what about your other platforms? Were you able to get it out there on your other platforms? Or?
Nah, I just because I'm only in groups in Facebook and stuff. That's where I'm like in 70 different groups, and I put it
I
out
got
and
you. I got
I put feelers out and questions out.
you. Okay.
But So what I was thinking about was everything around us, right, outside the black community, in some way or form has had a change. They're being forced to change, right?
Mhm.
Be it that we have cancel culture. If you white, you say something, they'll get rid of your ass quick. They'll get rid of you quick.
Hey, obviously, if you
Um,
black, they'll get rid of your ass.
yeah, I guess so. I
It
mean,
don't-
hey, but
it's cross racial
yeah,
lines.
it's crossed. It don't matter, I guess now. But I'm saying the change for us in the community, like
Hmm.
for the further our communities for growth for the black people.
Okay.
Um, if you look at any other race of person, for prosperity purposes, they had to do certain things.
Okay.
Um, White people had to sail across and come to America,
Yeah.
rape and pillage and do whatever else they did,
Yeah.
but they had to do that because they knew they had to do,
They knew they had to separate from where they were, I
yeah,
guess. So yeah.
so they knew they had to do that. Look at the Hispanic community. They were able to come if they're here there legally, you know, they had to come to a whole different country, learn a whole different language
Yeah.
in order to prosper. And they stick together as a group.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the change, right?
Absolutely.
Um Asian community. It was brought here too is help, you know.
That's an interesting way to put it.
No, well, I mean, but they were bought here. They didn't have the same fate we had. They didn't
No,
share the same witch
no,
gods.
no, not
But
quite. But
yeah,
they weren't quite. I wouldn't call them help.
well, they actually came here for a certain purpose. They knew they were some of them. I'm not saying all of them,
Yeah.
but for most part, you know, you had a whole railroad thing where they were part of that,
Hmm.
out west and stuff, and they end up changing from that. They were able to change.
Yeah.
They were able to group together, unify as one person, and now all they say something. We got a crime bill, an anti-hate bill for Asians, right? Because they group together,
That's amazing.
because they stick together.
I mean, we talking about roughly. I don't think 2% of the population. I think it's less than 2% of the population able to make a move like that. So,
Yeah, they're less percentage than we are.
oh, I
I
know
know
that.
much. I know
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah,
know
and
that for a
that's what
fact.
matters. I can't call a percentage, but I know
I
they're.
could be wrong with the
Yeah,
2%.
yeah. I don't know the
but
percentage,
but
but I know it's less
like you
than.
said, it's
Yeah,
smaller than
yeah,
our percentage.
smaller than us, and we're at roughly 14%. So
Are we up to 14
yeah, I
now?
think we
We've been
13.7,
having some
13.8.
babies because we was
Yeah,
down around
yeah,
12 for a little
yeah.
bit. Now we
13.7 or 8 last time I checked.
we done made our way up.
So like I said, they had a change. Anybody that came to this country that, you know, even black people that came to this country that are not of African American descent, they had to do something to get here,
Yeah.
and they had to change. They had to do something. They had to change wherever they came from, and they had to look at it. This is the environment I'm in, and if I want to prosper, I got to work hard. I got to do this, that, the other. But they kind of stick together too. You look at African communities,
Oh yeah.
Memorial Drive and all
Hey,
that stuff around the college.
are you calling
You know,
them out?
yeah, no, no, hey, I'm
No,
glad
just
because yeah,
messing.
hey, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But they are doing what they're supposed to do. They stick together,
All
unify.
right. Yeah, stick together, look out for one another, and yeah, and that was their whole purpose for coming here was
Mhm.
to prosper. Nobody
Mhm.
comes here to live a worse life. I don't think.
No,
So yeah. So so that's the question for the community. Then we
yeah,
go.
yeah. Do we feel need change?
Do we
And
feel
then we
need
got
to
to
change?
point out where we need to change at
Okay.
because,
Okay.
um, yeah, we everybody can change, but it's gonna be good for the community. You know,
Right.
I
Right.
could
I
say
done seen
I'm gonna,
some changes, but
yeah,
it's not in the right direction.
yeah.
So
You have to have a unified direction,
okay.
a
Okay.
purpose, an end result. Like I said, we went back 2 weeks ago and we were talking about it and we said, okay, this is for the kids. This is where everybody can agree on
Right.
that the future generation is what we need to be focused on.
Right.
So in going in that avenue, I think the same way I feel about like people in relationships, right?
Hmm.
When you married and stuff, or you're in a relationship and y'all have kids together, it should be easier because you should be doing what's best for the kid.
Right.
You know, versus
Shouldn't be any question
yeah,
about
it
it.
should be no questions
But
because this was yeah,
but
yeah,
but
yeah. But
okay.
but what I'm saying it should be easier.
Right. Right.
So
Should be a
the
common
same thing
goal.
for our community, right?
Hmm.
It should be easier because if we know we want our kids to have a certain outcome, like think about our parents, right? When they were going through the whole black, struggle thing, the power black movement, struggling for equality, they knew they was fighting for us.
Yeah. Yeah,
Us
it
right
wasn't.
now.
It wasn't about them then. It
No,
was
no.
about
No.
a better world for their
Yeah.
children.
I can guarantee nobody want to get bit by dogs and water hoses shot at their ass.
Uh,
That wasn't a good place to be.
nope.
But they love their kids so much and their future generations that they were going to come after them. They want to make a change.
And they believed in it. They
Yeah.
they, they 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 saw a purpose. They saw a means to an end, or a hopeful end. So, absolutely, yeah.
So at this point, we as black folks, descendants of slaves, specifically us, right? We can't talk about anybody from the islands. We can't talk about them. They're doing what they're supposed to do, what they came here to do.
Yeah,
It's us.
yeah.
It's us that's been here. Um, and we've let everything outside of our community dictate, yeah, what this community is supposed to be. That's what we're doing. We're responsible for that. Every single one of us. So, yeah.
So, who's ever watching? You gonna share the link so they can
Yeah, I'll
join?
share the link.
Share
Yeah,
the link with them. This is where you give them that intro.
yeah.
Yeah, share the link
Share
and,
link
give them
first.
opportunity to come on in here and
Somebody gonna
tell
come up
us.
here and give us they inputs on it one
Yeah,
day.
because I put a little input on that when we get
'Cause
back.
I want to hear what people have to say.
Do you feel the black community needs to change?
And in what way?
Yeah, and if you do, what way do you think they need to change? And it's that's not a singular thing. That could be multiple things.
Mm.
So, but yeah,
All right, we'll be right back.
give them something to dance to.
I'm back.
Man, it's like the Flash.
Knock the car.
Really?
Yeah.
We got another co-host out
I
there.
disturbed him when I jumped up. There we go. Yeah, I disturbed him. I'm tripping because technology.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna jump in here and I'm gonna say, at the minimum, I think the image of the black community needs to change.
Mhm.
Just how the world sees us,
Mhm.
how we see ourselves, how America sees us.
Mhm.
But I can tell you this: I've traveled a few places years ago,
Mhm.
20 plus years ago, and it's amazing how the world sees us. The way they would have, hey, what's up, homeboy? These are people in other countries, and I'm like, I wasn't offended by it, but what it made me realize is that's what they see. I guess at the time we didn't give it the word media, but that's what they would see on TV or in movies.
Yeah,
because
movies.
we're talking like late '90s, so
Yeah.
that's the only really interaction. The internet wasn't really, it was just taking off around that time, so. But the image of the black community, I think, needs to change more so than anything, because I'm gonna say the majority of the black community is positive.
Mhm.
They want the same thing everybody else wants. They want to raise their kids in a nice environment. They want the kids to be productive citizens of society. Um, they want to eat every day. They want they want
Yeah.
to be able to pay their bills.
They definitely want that.
They want to be able to provide for their family or whatever. And I'm gonna say go ahead and say 95% of the community, probably shit, 97%.
mm,
The majority of the community, that's what they want.
mm,
Now the way we go about getting a lot of times is different, but it doesn't matter. They still looking for a positive outcome for their family. But the image that's given in society is something very different from that. And to me, that's what needs to change, because once when people outside the community start seeing you in a different light, I think you'll get a different treatment.
mm,
So that's my first thing, is the image of the black
mm.
community needs to be the first thing that change, in my opinion. What
No,
you
no,
think?
and I agree. Um, Part of what I was going to say earlier, I was going to basically talk about the fact we black folks, black period, needs to be rebranded, right? Any company that comes along and they have issues, they go they go to structural period where they have to rebrand in order to prosper after that. Whatever damage happens, they come back and they have to rebrand in order to see revenue. We as black people need to go through a rebranding period. Um, we've allowed people, like I said, to dictate um, where we are in the community, or what we do in the community. Like we've allowed media to control our narrative. We've allowed other people outside our race to make chess moves, basically, to make us do certain things. And we need to, like I say, refocus on what actually matters.
Let me
Go
jump
ahead.
in there real
Go ahead.
quick. You said people outside of our
Yeah.
community to make chess moves,
Mm,
but I also think it's a lot of people within our
mm,
community making those
mm,
similar chess moves
mm.
that are not necessarily for the overall good.
Yeah,
It's
for good, for
it's
themselves,
it's more for
basically.
themselves,
Mm,
for a more of a selfish. I don't know if that's the word, but they're not looking out for the community more,
mm.
no, more so.
Yeah, they're looking out for themselves, and it's basically yeah, it's selfish game. And I'm gonna keep on saying this. The whole thing that I hate, this reality TV stuff that you know portrays black women in a negative light. Um, when we get down to talking about the whole gender thing, with the gender war between men and women pointing at men and men pointing at women, whatever going on, I don't care. What I'm gonna say is that by doing showing these images and black women signing off with these images going on that depicts them as combative women, as mad black, angry black women, or whatever it is, it hurts their brand. It hurts their image.
Absolutely.
It's counterproductive to what they say they want, and you can't you can't point at the problem being the man when you're being responsible for that. That, and when a man treats you that way, because that's what he sees, that's what he hears coming out your mouth, and that's what he sees that you you watch and you take in. At some point, you know, that overall image at some point needs to be shed. You need to shed that image at some point, and it starts with everybody having a voice saying, "Okay, you know what? We have enough of this foolishness. Like, okay, this is entertainment, but it also damages. We have to stop doing stuff that's going to damage the community."
Yeah. Why is it entertainment at the expense of our
Mm,
image?
mm,
It's one thing if we are doing something positive. I was looking at an episode of George Jefferson last night,
mm,
and they portrayed him as whatever you want to say, but he was, in my opinion, he was a positive person, because
mm.
he's somebody who came up from nothing,
Yeah.
built the image, built the brand.
Mm,
He had his laundromats and everything. And
mm.
he lived where no other black man. Well, not
Yeah.
no other,
East side, the east side.
but he set an example for as what you can do. So that's one thing. That was a form of
Mm,
entertainment, but it was a uplifting form.
mm,
Whereas our entertainment today is being at the expense of who we are.
mm,
A much lower level
mm. Yeah.
vibration.
And it leans into stereotypes. And by doing that, like you said, when you go to other countries,
Oh yeah,
what they gonna think?
yeah, man.
Because this is popular. Social media, everything from that, it streams down to social media. Once you have it on there, everybody's talking about it on social media because it's some salacious stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
And what I think is interesting, the whole culture. And you can put that on race or just
mm,
age, generation, whatever.
mm,
But that carries over as well, and everybody wants to be a part of that
Hmm.
because I can see a video and it might be in France, but you
Hmm.
can never tell just looking at the video until they start talking. I'm like,
Hmm.
damn,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so everybody wants to be a part of it, but is it really the best thing for us? And I guess it depends on how it's depicted. So I'm just kind of
No, no. I mean, if it's with the black community, we already have to understand that the black community is the bottom of the totem pole. Actually, in everything, we're the bottom. I mean, we can't afford to have bad images because once we have bad images, let's say the black male podcast, black man has bad images, then you start to see the way we be policed because we have bad images. We're policed a certain way because the image of the black man is shit. So even with portraying that message about black men, like if you don't respect your own black men, how another race gonna respect us?
hmm
You know, and the same thing with black women, right? If we don't respect our black women, how do we expect other people to treat our black women better? But hey Ashley,
What's going on, Ashley?
I'm gonna catch you. Hey, I'm gonna stop this in the. We gonna stop in an hour so I can catch you because I know you coming on. This is Ashley Pitt. She's Black Girl Interrupted podcast creator. She comes on and at 9 o'clock,
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock
So
Eastern,
we
8 o'clock
yeah
Central.
we're gonna cut it short. We're
Yeah, I'm
not
gonna
gonna
cut it
jump
short so I catch you, Ashley.
we're not gonna jump into yours.
But yeah, by us like giving a certain image, putting a certain image out against our black women, how can we expect other people to treat our black women with respect, right?
Mhm.
That's on us. That's on us. That's on men, right? If we doing something to make black women look a certain way, disrespect them, that's on us. If other people treat them that way, we can't say nothing against it. But we also need to look at how on media black men portray themselves, and I don't know many streams of media where black men um and I'm not talking about scripted stuff. I mean, scripted stuff is what it is. I mean, life imitating art, art imitating life, however that go. But I'm talking about things that are supposed to be quote unquote reality TV,
Mm,
right?
that's scripted too, but
It's
okay.
scripted, but
Let's
but
go.
it's based on it's trying to put out there because
That this is how it's
that
going
this is
down.
what
Yeah,
happens in our
right.
community. So I don't see shows like that as portraying us as violent criminals and stuff like that. That's why they took cops off. They took cops off there.
Is that why they took it off
Yeah,
there?
yeah, because it shows us being a certain way, and
Who
most of the stuff was black men in there.
black man? Really?
Yeah, most of the stuff was
I
black men
remember
or
seeing a
Latino women.
lot of white
Yeah,
dudes in there
no,
with their
it is
shirt off.
some. But it was always when you see them was meth or drunk. They drunk or something.
Yeah,
It was a certain thing. Yeah.
you can kind of tell by the crime,
Mhm.
who what was going on. So I can see that, but I remember seeing a little bit of everything on
Yeah.
there. But I didn't look at a lot of
Yeah.
cops either, so that
Yeah.
might be
No.
why.
No. Most of it was black crime that they highlighted.
And they took
And
it
they
off.
put them in black. They put in the black neighborhoods, right? They went to cops that were in the black neighborhoods to show that,
I got
and that's why they end up taking it off air. But we don't see much of black men like doing it, showing out a certain way to try to get fame as far as acting in our stereotype. Like,
you. Hmm.
and we do actually. Let me bring it back. As far as having several baby mamas and stuff like that, yeah, they put that out there. They put that out there. But as far as the other stuff, I don't see much of the black men being working against their own image in that
Right,
manner.
right,
Um, but black women with this reality TV and stuff, and it's it's damaging your image, and I understand that a lot of people say it's entertainment, a lot of people view it as entertainment, but like we have to be careful. Like I said, we're on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to races. We're at the very bottom. There's nobody underneath us when it comes to um the way we operate in our community. um we have to start like treating each other with mutual respect. That's the first thing. That's where it needs to begin. um Even with, like I said, the whole gender thing going on, if you have brothers, uncles, father, whatever that you're close to, sons, right? um if you wouldn't like anybody treat your children or your loved ones that's a male any kind of way, you need to start operating the other men that kind of way. And men, Same thing. You have women in your life that you love, mothers, daughters, sisters, aunts, cousins or whatever. You need to treat every woman as if that was your loved one,
Hmm.
with that same mutual respect, with goodwill and good faith. I think that would be the beginning of rebranding because, like I said, back in the 60s, I always go back to the 60s when I start talking about this. We were all brothers and sisters in the 60s, right? When
Right.
you greeted each other, hey, brother, how you doing? Hey, sister, how you having a good day? We were all, that showed genuine love for each other. Like,
Right.
not that, oh, yeah, I'm interested in sleeping with her. I'm interested in him because I want this. No, it's just a mutual love and respect for each other that happened during the 60s that
And
we don't have.
like I said, where did that go? The mutual respect for one another. Uh, I remember when I used to work in a certain part of town, and that's just what I did. If I enter a place, I greet people,
Mhm.
and I would get some of the coldest responses
Yeah. Oh,
from and I'm
yeah.
trying to figure out what's the harm in saying hello, and because that's just that I was always taught that's what you do. You go into
Yeah. When
somebody
you're in their
else's
room.
space,
Hmm.
you greet everybody in there, and that's what I would do. But I used to get some of the worst responses from individuals, and I think a lot of times they thought you had an ulterior motive
Yeah.
to speaking, but it's just a greeting. It's just hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Good morning. Hey, what?
Yeah. Just like we've heard. I mean, I think I shared the content with you where the sister was saying they offended by men telling them to smile or whatever. And
Wow.
it's like
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's like, okay, that's a man telling you that, and they could have ulterior motives. Don't get me wrong. Some men could, but just seeing somebody, a woman, right, look like she's having a bad day. If you're any type of man, you want to try to, okay, you look, hey, smile, smile, baby, or whatever, smile. You too cute to be,
What
looking all hard like that.
women
You
to
know,
me, women are inspirational to men. So
yes,
when
and
you
that's we
see
trying to
that,
do to women.
that
Yeah,
is that
mhm.
is that's not inspirational at all.
No,
And
no,
it's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's somebody else's job to inspire
no.
us, but that's where a lot of men draw their inspiration
Yeah,
from. A
yeah.
lot of
That's what
times.
we. That's at the end of the day. That's what we do when we, that's how we do things, or that's how we get better because we're trying to do stuff for the women in our life.
Right.
Like, um, back in the day, we used to go out and go kill the animal, bring the food home or whatever. Go out to fight the wars. Why? Because we want our women to be protected. We want
Want to
our
be
women to
protected,
be
be taken care of.
yeah, taken care of. Yes,
Uh, you know, but
but we've lost that. We've lost that.
but where did it go?
Late 60s.
Okay.
I'm tired of saying this shit. The late 60s. It left with the death of our leaders, our black leaders, left with the death of our black leaders, and um everybody's scrambling for a place. Like you have some people that are scrambling to be heard, to be the voice. Um you had some people, drugs came at the same time. Like I said, drugs came in the
Hmm.
community. So you got some people scrambling for paper, right? They're gonna sell the drugs. They're gonna be a big dope deal, and whatever. And then since we have no more leaders, then in your neighborhood, you was the man in your neighborhood. That made everybody's neighborhood. We didn't have one person at the top to kind of say, okay, look, this is what we not gonna do. This is what the black community needs to do. We didn't have that anymore. So it's like, okay, the person in your neighborhood that made the most money, that would help you out, do stuff, to try to get the most shine. Basically, it was all for self, but
Hmm.
that's what people looked up to because we were at a time where jobs was kind of what it
Yeah.
was. It was scarce and people weren't really making it. So the people they used to rely on, the Black Panthers used to do food drives or whatever. They used to look out for the community, and that's how we actually operated as a community. But
And
now the community was okay, whoever you looked up to.
yeah, and I think what happened when that, like the Black Panther Party, the whole movement,
Mm.
when that moved out, I think it was backfilled with people who were looking for
Yeah,
selfish
yeah,
opportunities to take advantage, and pretty much that's what we have today. We
yeah.
have people who they tell you what you want to hear, and or they pander to whoever, uh, for their own
Personal
personal
gain.
gain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and this thing. It's been, man, that's
It's been almost 50
60
years. 50
years.
years.
That's
Yeah,
60 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm right. I'm sorry. You're
It
right.
was
60. Right about. Well,
yeah,
nah,
50,
nah.
50,
Yeah,
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 50,
about 50.
yeah,
Because it's 68. I think it was 68 when all is like everybody was going 68, 69.
yeah, and 50,
King, which called King,
yeah.
Malcolm, and the
By
Black Panther Party.
1970,
The 70 was gone. It's
gone.
totally gone by the 70s, which is crazy because it's like once again you see this purposely done.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that's when it
by the
started. That's
70s.
when it
Yeah,
started to fall
yeah.
apart. That's interesting.
And, the thing is, we have to understand, and that's why, like I keep saying it, we have to understand when we started falling to shit. We have to understand that. We have to understand at what point did we start getting to the direction we got this way, and the things that happen. Each we got to point out each thing that happened so we can understand, so we won't like relive that situation,
Won't do it again.
so we
Right?
won't do it again.
Can't repeat
Um,
history like that.
we keep on like if you look at any other civilization, any other race, the way we operate is totally backwards, and we're not going to point out on this show as to um we're not going to point out no, we're not pointing fingers to it at all because um
It's,
I it's we here.
it's everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and now it's everybody with it.
it's
It's
everybody.
everybody. um to look back and point it out is to say, okay, this is where we failed, and now we need to figure out how to correct it.
Mm.
We just need to figure out how to correct it. I like I said, the children answer. I mean, hey, I think Whitney. I believe the children of the future, right? That that was a big song. I think that's probably the main reason why that was, being said. We had turmoil.
Well, yeah,
We had turmoil.
we did. We did. But was that you think that was her goal? And was that was a remake though, right?
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it was a remake. Yeah,
yeah. Because I
but I'm
remember singing
saying,
that when I was a
yeah,
youngster.
but I still think it's like, okay, this is what we need to focus on.
Right.
Like, no matter what, like whether it's the racial issue, right? You can't worry about your race. You have to worry about the
The
children
children
because your
are the
children have
future.
to live in a world to where people are hating each other. Um, that's not a good place for your children to. That's not a good place for your children to grow up or even be a part of. Um, you're gonna have casualties of that situation, and in our community, we can't have a place to where the men and women don't get along. Where nobody in the community gets along. We can't
Right.
be in that
Because
place.
the children are gonna lose
Then they're going to
every
carry it. They're going
every
to carry
time.
that, and it's going to get worse.
Every time. So, like I said, for me, the first thing is image.
Hmm.
Image definitely has to change. And then and then from there it kind of sprouts off. I think economically we have to get more savvy with the way we handle our
Oh
finances.
yeah, yeah, most
Um,
definitely.
you know, and I'm not trying to shame anybody or like people gonna take it however they take it,
Hmm.
but it, as an adult, you should be able to put your hands on a certain amount of money at
Hmm.
any given
Yeah.
time because life is nothing in life is guaranteed.
Hmm.
Things are gonna happen,
Hmm.
and let's be honest. Most of what happens is for most people's hardship is finances. It kind of it's the beginning, and then everything else springs off out of there. So we gotta get smarter how we handle our money, and
Hmm.
I'm speaking in general because plenty of people know how to handle their money, but it's a lot of people who are ignorant about money. They don't understand money is nothing more than a tool
Yeah, it's a
that,
tool.
that you use to leverage to move your way throughout society,
Hmm.
throughout life.
Hmm.
And a lot of times we think money is gonna make us happier or whatever, and it's not. It just allows you to operate a little differently in life.
Yeah.
It gives you options, is what money does.
And that's why in the 70s they wanted to split up the black family. That's why they did that, right? Because so they can, uh,
It limited their options. It's
yeah,
less money in the
yeah.
household. It's
Well, no, not even that. Think about it. If man and woman, if one man over here, it's just like today, like you got a man over here, you got a woman over here. Both of them are paying rent somewhere, right? We're
yeah,
not together. Both paying rent, both paying electricity, both paying food. It's because we can't get together. We're fueling this economy because it's twice as much going on.
yeah, right. You
Plus,
got two people who could be sharing all these expenses,
yeah,
paying them separately. So that's if you just combine half of that,
mhm,
that's a mighty blow to
to
a
the
lot
economy.
to
Yeah,
yeah
if
to
everybody partnered today, If everybody said after the show, we're going to partner with
I'm
somebody.
gonna find somebody of the. Well, I shouldn't say that, but I'm gonna find somebody of the
Oh
opposite
yeah, I'm on.
sex.
No, not even that. I mean, because we can't say that either.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
can.
find somebody to partner with.
Right.
I'm gonna find somebody to partner with, and so we can eliminate bills, and so we could
Create
keep money in our community.
not just that, but just for the greater purpose of creating a better future
Yeah,
for a better tomorrow.
creating a better tomorrow. Um, then you would start to see something happen. You would start to see business like, oh, what's going on?
Right.
You know, they would notice that. They would notice that. Also think about the fact that they didn't want the black men in the household because the black men were going to basically reign over and be like, you know what, we're not spending money in that manner. You know, we're not. This is our purpose, is our route, right? Majority of the time, or usually, not majority, usually the man is the discipliner. The man is the one that's going to structure whatever the family's going to do and kind of keep it away from that feelings based thing.
Right.
Okay, this is what we're doing. But since we're split up, right, what goes on is that you got women trying to get the attention of men. So that's a feeling thing. Now, men feel a certain way because they're trying to get the attention of women because they have to do certain things to try to get their attention. So they're able to, like I said, the chess moves I was talking about, that's the chess moves, right? Because if you keep us apart, we want each other's attention. We want each other's validation. So since
Absolutely.
we want each other's validation, we're going to do what we think needs to happen in order to do it. Whether we have to go out and buy expensive clothes, name brand stuff, expensive cars,
Hmm.
just to get validation and get attention from a woman. And women, y'all go put on all this foolishness, makeup, these eyelashes, all this stuff that you don't need
I
because
like how you
black
called
men
it.
ain't never said they want this stuff.
I like how you called it foolishness.
It's tomfoolery. It's foolishness. That black men don't say majority of black men say they don't want a woman to have that stuff on. They don't like it,
I,
but they sold it to them. They have them believing that this is what they need to
right.
get attention from black men.
Right. And guess what? It will get you attention, but it's not going to get you. I don't think it gets you the attention. This is a slight tangent from
Mm-hmm.
what we're talking. But I don't think it gets you the attention that
You
you
want.
that you well, they think they want it, but
Mm-hmm.
in reality, what you're getting is somebody who's I don't want to say they're digging at the bottom of the barrel, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're gonna pay. You look at somebody who when you get someone's attention with that setup, like you said, with the clown makeup and all that,
Mm-hmm.
that is a temporary attention they want.
Yeah,
They're not looking for anything long term with somebody who presents themselves in that manner
yeah,
with all their hair down their back. At least it's theirs, and
yeah,
all the makeup on, the eyelashes out to here. That is a temporary thing.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
not looking for any kind of long term anything with that because
No, yeah.
in reality, I think most men want to know how their women look, and it's boy, some magic going on out there with this makeup. I'm just gonna tell you, I got a family
Charmed,
a family member
bewitched.
who does makeup, and I'm
Mm,
just like, you need to stop tricking people because
mm.
that is not cool. That is not. She likes to do the before and
Uh,
after, and I'm like, no, that is not cool. But
and I understand a lot of what it is. A lot of black women make revenue this way, right?
yeah,
But
yeah, she does.
but you're paying into you're not paying the community doing this,
Well,
because the people that own that stuff, the people that do that, uh, at the top tier of it, it doesn't look like us, and it doesn't come back to our community.
well, if you just tone it back, because
Yeah.
you really get to dictate. I mean, people can tell you what they're looking for, but you can say, okay, you know what, you don't really need this much. You can go.
Mm.
I think that'll go a long way.
Yeah,
But
I agree with Ashley. She said they do it because that's what the media says makes us beautiful, and that's what I mean
oh,
about the
that's
chess
and
moves.
that's probably
The
correct.
media shows y'all certain images so y'all can emulate those images. Therefore, they can sell you products so you can look that way, and
Has the opposite effect in many cases.
and a lot of times there's the opposite effect, like you said, with men. A lot of men don't uh uh really care about the makeup thing. If you every woman in my opinion is beautiful in some kind of way. Every woman has some kind of beauty.
Come over here, white knight.
Yeah, look at me simping over here. I'm simping. Every woman has something that makes them beautiful. I think they just need to focus on that and enhance whatever that is. Your personality is a big draw on men. The way you act,
Oh
the way
man,
you being feminine is a big thing that
I'm
a lot of
trying to
women
tell
don't
you.
do.
I think personality will carry you so much further
Mhm.
than anything. Well, I can't because let's be honest. To get a man's attention, you have to grab his visual
Yeah,
attention. But if that doesn't do it, if you interact with somebody and have that pleasant personality, that takes you that men will overlook
Mm.
looks a lot of times once they get into that. Once they find a feminine, what you point?
No, Ashley said that we've
Oh,
been taught that an attribute is an attribute is not beautiful,
right.
and I've had this debate with women before, right? And it was like, well, y'all say this that men don't like. I'm like, who told you that? What men told you that? Did
None.
you? And he's like, well, society. Okay, are black men society? That's the whole thing. Y'all give us a charge that we haven't put out there. Yes, black men are going to approach you if you have full makeup, looking a certain. Yes, um, what it says to some black men is that you seek validation, so you're doing all this stuff, right? So you're waiting to be chosen because of the fact that you're seeking this type of validation. So yeah, oh, she want what I'm this attention I'm giving her. So that's the only reason why. But it's not saying that I'm because you look that way. I'm trying to marry you. I'm trying to be in a relationship. It don't say that.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't say that. And that's what I think. Women think, okay, I'm doing this to get his attention, and just naturally he's gonna feel a certain type of way, and he's gonna want to be with me, and it's not the message you're relaying. Ashley says, speaking for myself, it took me years to embrace my freckles. Now women are paying $1,000 to get the look that we've hated for so many years. Yeah, with the big
Exactly.
lips, the full lips, not the big lips. That's Nick Hawks. The full lips,
Look at 'em.
you know, women are paying for that, right? Everything that they told y'all to hate, women are trying to become
Yeah.
that,
And it looks horrible on them.
and
That's
it looks bad because they're
that's
not doing natural, actually.
right. It looks it's obvious something going on with their mouth, but
Mhm.
you know,
But and that's the whole thing, right? It's they taught you self hatred, and a lot of sisters are looking at men like we're part of that. We're part of that system that is doing that to you. And I've never heard black men say, "I'm not going to deal with this sister because she doesn't have makeup, lashes, et cetera, et cetera." I've never heard a man say that. And we're in space where men be talk freely, right? We're in barbershops. We're in
right.
different places where men speak freely. I've
Never heard a
never heard
man
men say that.
say, "Man, I
Never.
love the way she got those eyelashes on.
Yeah,
I
no, I've
was
never
never heard that
never
before."
heard that. Like, oh, them eyelashes just called me. It just
Right.
said, "Come here, come here." No, that's not what happens. You're doing it. Women do that because they are competing with other women because they see other women doing it, and they see. I mean, the woman might have a bang about it, right? If she have a bang about it, of course, a man is going to look past that clown stuff. He's going to look past that because she has a
Absolutely.
bang about it.
Right.
That's not the same
And
thing.
and and when a man sees a let's get back to nature, baby. When
Yeah.
when a man sees a body,
Mm.
that that tells him that I guess gives you an idea of fertility.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that
Oh
means
yeah.
to a man.
Yeah.
It's not even so much about they getting the attention.
Mm.
That's you going back to raw instinct at that point, you know. So it's so much into it, but
Yeah. Actually, I've heard men say they will only date light skinned women with long straight hair. No, and that's a preference for them men. All
right.
right, everybody has a preference, just like women like taller men. Right, women like taller men. Back in the '80s, they like light skinned dudes with good hair. Right,
Yeah, they
back
still
in,
do.
back in the '80s, this late '70s, '80s, they like light skinned dude with good hair, pretty eyes. Right, that's what it
They
was.
wanted men to look like women.
But we didn't, as black men, we didn't say, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna change,
Right.
we're gonna start lighting our skin. We didn't say that. We were like,
Nah,
hey,
nah.
of course, because of sheer numbers, okay, we might not be the end thing, but if we're
I,
gonna get the woman we want, eventually.
I learned a long time ago. You like I said, I'm a card player,
Hmm.
so you deal with the hand you dealt,
Yeah, you deal with a hand,
and
yeah.
you enhance what you have.
Hmm.
And when I say enhance, I don't mean to go out there and paint it, but
Hmm.
you draw on your
Yeah, on
strengths
your strengths.
and
Hmm.
you move forward.
Yeah,
You know,
but you have to know yourself always.
you have
You have to know yourself in order to do that. And I think a lot of women and a lot of men don't know themselves. They just follow trends at this point, and it's not working for our community. Ashley says some men no longer embrace natural bodies. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they do.
they
Some
do.
of them do. They like the look of it, but that a lot of that stuff look horrible. It looks horrible to me.
Actually,
It looks crazy,
I think most men do embrace. I think the whole exaggerated butt
wasting.
to waist to breast ratio is men are so over that now.
Yeah,
Now
I
it's a
tired.
it's a thing now. I think in media or on social media, but for the most part, when a man, like I said, that's going to get a man's attention,
He's
but
gonna give you attention.
it's the temporary
Mm,
attention. He's not looking to marry
mm.
anybody
Yeah.
like that. He's not looking to spend any kind of quality length of time with somebody who presents himself that way
Mm.
because it's almost clown like. It's almost
No, yeah,
cartoonish.
cartoonish. It is cartoonish.
It's cartoonish.
Yeah,
I think
anime.
when it first happened, I think it naturally it kicked into our
Yeah.
instinct as men. But then once we realized what was going on,
Mhm.
and as more people got it, they weren't going to the same level of doctor,
Yeah,
so it was
yeah.
starting to
It's
look
looking
worse
crazy.
and
Yeah.
worse. Because it's some women out there. I truly feel bad because they have damaged their bodies
Hmm.
for the purpose of what?
Yeah.
For what outcome? What
Just to get temporary attention. That's what it is. It's temporary attention, and they're not getting the outcomes they want out of it.
Mm,
Because if you see, this is the whole thing. If you see a bunch of women walking around the same way, y'all looking the same way, go to the same doctors, right?
right. It's no longer
Who is the man going to pick?
right. The one who look different.
The one that looks different, one that looks regular with the regular body. He gonna like,
Right.
oh, okay, all
Right.
these the same. I can interchange. I could swap, go from one to the other, and it wouldn't matter
Yeah.
because I've got the same engineered body. It feels the same way because when it's engineered, when it's a certain, it's gonna feel the same.
Man.
Is no kind of uniqueness to that. So the ones that's gonna win are the ones that's gonna be just their normal self.
Yeah.
She's authentic.
And with that, be the best version of yourself in your
Mm,
natural body.
mm.
But this, I really think that whole exaggerated everything is that's I think that's over. I mean,
Yeah,
women gonna still do it,
they're gonna still do it.
and it's like I said, and it's all about going bigger. And they used to say men had egos, but I think women got way bigger ego, bigger.
No, no, no.
Let me
They're
stop.
competed. They've competed. They're because they're competing with us, right? That's what's going on. That's like I said. That's part of the chess moves because they told women that you have to compete with your men at some point. We had movements at some point, and the whole thing was during the late 60s. I don't care. Like women say, well, women didn't have a voice, all this other stuff, right? Okay, granted, true, but did we have good outcomes during that time? Did we have families together? Did we have kids that were prospering? Those group of women birthed kids that were prosperous, that doctors, lawyers, and other professions, right? Those group of women, yes, they had issues. Everybody's gonna have issues. Even now,
Always.
you have issues, the same issues they had back then, but we're in worse case.
Yeah.
We're in a worse situation
And
now.
let's me go back to next, but let's
Mm,
that's the natural leadership instinct
mm,
anyway, is for the male to lead in those. So
mm,
that's why you got that in the '60s. And then once
mm.
the family was broken apart, then you start having more women having to pretty much lead families, and
Yeah.
it's
No, if you have to do it, you have to do it. That's not the thing.
right.
But the problem, and don't get me wrong, ladies, I'm not saying that's a problem that you're leading your family, right? Because if you have to do it,
You have to do it.
that's what you have
But
to do to survive.
but in my opinion, a woman should not have to do that
No.
if they have a man in the house,
But well, and that's
and that's the
true.
problem.
But my problem is that the fact that society gave y'all this and said, no, this is the way to do it,
This
and
is
y'all bought into that, right?
this will work.
Y'all bought into it thinking this is what's supposed to happen, and no other community buys into it like the black community does. That's why we're talking about this, about the change, right? Because this is the issue I see. And I mean, y'all could say what y'all want to say if y'all don't believe that, is that we're out of order. We're the whole order, the structure of the black family is totally crazy, is totally messed up. And it's totally messed up, and that's what needs to change. Like we have to stop buying into the stuff that we were given. That you know this is the way that this happens. This is the way that you can get better. We have to make women the strong type and compete with the men for this. It will not work. This is why Rome fell. Excuse me, yo. I'm sitting here working on different stuff and at the same time trying out different stuff. But this is the reason Rome fell because they put the women in front of the men, and they structured around the women, the side around the women.
And Rome pretty much destroyed themselves. Nobody
Yeah. Oh
nobody
yeah.
could take
Yeah.
out Rome.
No,
Rome took
nobody could take
themselves
them
out.
out. They was some strong bastards. They was they was some bad mother.
Yeah.
They was bad.
That's why they did some of the stuff they did, man. They were bored with life. They were like,
Yeah. Oh
man,
yeah.
let's
Yeah. They was
try
the top of the
this.
food chain.
Let's try this,
We
man.
could try some different stuff.
Yeah, let's do this.
But yeah, no, that I mean that, and that's the thing that needs to be one of our places that we need to start at. Ashley says society has pitted us against one another. That's true, and that's they had to do that in order to break up the black family because they feared the power of the black family if we got our stuff together, if we kept it together, because we had together at that point. But if we kept it together, they saw they could not get in between the black family, the black community, and they couldn't They couldn't make us do anything because we had a code. We had stuff that we would not do. Things we wouldn't do to each other. Things we would, we wouldn't step outside of lines and boundaries. We had those things. Now it's a free
It's a
fall.
race.
It's a free fall.
You think that has something to do with the men not being in the household where like the code left? Even let's say even the hustlers, people
Mhm.
who used to
There's a code. Yes, even with the hustlers.
they had a
Yeah.
code, even when dealing with criminal activity. You didn't involve women and children. You didn't,
Oh yeah.
certain things didn't take place. But now, all that's out the window. Everybody can get it now.
Yeah.
It's no limits. It's so we got. Well, I got the image definitely needs to change.
Mhm.
The way we approach economics needs to
Yeah.
change.
Because that's power. Economics is power.
Absolutely, and the way we do our leadership needs to change.
Yeah.
And I'm a big proponent of leading from within and then letting that grow out. I've never really, I like to see people do big things, but that never.
Okay.
What,
Like paint a picture of that. What you talking about?
well, like okay, we go with Dr. Martin Luther King.
Mhm.
What he did was amazing, but for me, I didn't need that in my life to say you have to lead your household. I don't need that. I didn't need, and I don't know if that got that from because I had a dad in the home.
Yeah.
My old man gave me that or what,
Mhm.
but I didn't have to see anything outside of myself
Mhm.
as far as leadership.
Yeah.
If we take care of our own and then share that with who we can, I think that'll fix the problem. But when we look outside of ourselves for healing, a lot of times we run into these different
No, I
roadblocks.
think no, I think we need it now because the reason why we need it now, even more so than ever, because we have a system working against that message, right?
Oh yeah.
We have a big system in place that's gonna work against the message that you're gonna put forward. Like if I come out and I just say, you know what, this is how Black society needs to be.
Hmm.
I can prove the way Black society needs to be and whatever else. We have a system in place that's going to try to talk to people and get people in line to try to talk against and speak against me. So that's going to take me out to
Absolutely.
where every time we have a person like that, you see what
Well,
happens. You
it's
see what
happening
happens.
right now because we
Yeah.
got some. Hey, let me say something. We got some brothers that's really putting some fire out there,
Hmm.
and people. It's a lot of negative things out there about them, but
Hmm.
they're continuing to move forward, and
Yeah.
that's great. But even with like what you're saying with that scenario, and that's why I said if you start in your household, nobody should be able to infiltrate. You should control the information that comes in and out of your
Yeah.
household, regardless of where it's coming from.
Hmm.
So when you start there you can overcome that message,
Hmm.
And like I said, it's good to be able to look outside of that and see that, but that shouldn't be your primary source.
But the problem with that is though, we have people that's worried about their children's happiness and being
Oh
entertained.
shit!
So that's killing that right there.
Well,
That's killing that right there. That's the problem we have is that we have people that are more concerned about looking a certain way rather than
being
being
a certain
being a certain way.
I
Yeah.
got
So like I said, it's the societal pressures. It's the media pressure on us because they make it look at Instagram. Everybody's perfect on Instagram. Everybody's perfect.
you.
So what it does, it makes other people feel like we're not as much.
They're inferior
They're inferior. They feel
for
inferior. So if you feel inferior, you're going to do extra stuff in order to try to compete or
to
try
get
to,
to an
yeah,
illusionary
yeah,
level.
to illusionary level. Exactly.
Okay. And I understand that.
Mm.
I think the one of the co-founders of Facebook realized that is what would happen when uh when they were going forward with Facebook and decided to drop out of the whole production of Facebook. But
Oh yeah, some of them. Yeah, there was a documentary about that.
I was
Yeah, there's a documentary. I can't remember the name of it, but just I mean, Google Facebook's documentary, and some of the people that were on them projects they dropped out because they said this is not going to be good.
yeah, it's
This
not good.
they won't let their kids be in social media, deal with social media because they say it's not going to be good.
Right.
What they say is like it's equal to like a drug. It's equal to
Oh
drugs.
yeah.
The whole way the endorphins fire off in your brain and everything. When you have a like you get this kind of high when a lot of people like your pictures or whatever, you get this kind of high. And then after the fact, when it doesn't, like you put a picture out and it doesn't, now you feel down. You feel a little
And the
depression.
likes in a minute.
Yeah,
Get the
you feel
likes.
depressed. So what you gonna do? You want to get that high again, so you're gonna go do something else. You're gonna show a little boob. You're gonna,
Hey,
you're
show a
gonna
little bit
show a
more
little skin.
skin.
Show me a
Okay.
little skin.
Yeah.
You get those likes. Okay, now you're on the high again. So this is the stuff that we have like brought our kids into. Like we bought into it full force because we feel good. It makes us feel good that people want to, that like what we have, or what we got going on, or people show interest in us. It feels
Right.
good, and a lot of it goes back to the lack of people in the home that actually pay attention to their kids, give attention kids attention. Like women, a lot of women I think have um what you call it, when the males are missing in their life, they seek male validation, right? A
Mhm.
lot of women that were for single home parent homes led by women, they have a lack of male validation, so they get in certain situations.
Mhm.
That's social media, right? That's social media, because the women put stuff out there to get men to talk to, oh, hey queen, this, that, the other, you beautiful, give them validation.
Right.
That's what social media is, right? Getting validation from other people so you can fill a void. And that's what's going on. That's why what you were saying is not going to work. People are filling voids, and it's hard to do what you're saying to do
It's
when it's easy to go to social media and get that void filled.
I- it's probably hard, but I mean, nobody said it was going to be easy. Uh, but I think it's doable because when at the end of the day, you need to be the primary influence in your family's life, and I say that including the wife, kids,
Mhm.
whoever the case may be in your household.
But you're talking about male-led households, and we got 70% of the
See that?
families. That's
Well,
what you're talking about, and that's, like I said, you got 70%, roughly seventy
okay.
percent don't have a man in the household.
I'm
So
catching. I'm catching on to what you're saying
okay,
now.
hmm
With the structure of
the
the
structure, yeah,
structure of
the
households
structure has to be
today,
fixed
that's
first.
going to be
Mhm.
hard to
Yeah,
overcome.
yeah,
Yeah, but one step at a time. How you
yeah,
eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
yeah.
So yeah, so you start where you are, but I see what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense because a lot of times, like you said, a lot of parents. Well, I'm starting to see more men do this, and it's
No, men
bad.
are doing it now too.
But
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
women are more so, like you said, they want their kids to be happy.
hmm
Or I've heard, I had to, me and my wife talk about, she say somewhere, I don't know if that's fair because this child was able to do that. And I'm like, it's not about fair. This
Yeah,
is the situation. This child gets this, and just because this child gets something doesn't mean the other child needs to get something or the same thing needs
yeah.
to happen. They live two different lives. It's not about fair and weighing who got what and when
And,
they got it.
and and you got to look at too. Like this child getting the same thing this child get might not be able to
It's not
handle that.
it's
They
not
might not be handle
right,
that.
and it's not appreciated the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah. That's true
It's
too. Yeah.
so you treat it on a separate level as an individual. But I see, like you said, so many times we don't want our kids to be mad at us. We don't
hmm
we
You
want
want to be our kid's friend.
to and say I don't give a damn
Yeah, no, and that's what needs
about
to happen. That neeks to happen. Like we don't care about our kids liking us or being happy. We need to care about our kids' well-being
Mhm.
past the point where they get out of our house, right?
Right. And I use myself as an example again. It's certain things they could be something minute.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, with say with my son, and we have a conversation about it. Was and in her mind, it's not that big of a deal. I
Mm-hmm.
said, well, that situation isn't a big deal, but that carry over to
Mm-hmm.
something bigger in life, and
Yeah,
they're gonna approach
yeah,
it the exact same way.
yeah.
So when
Constantly doing something a certain way
yeah,
is
when
going
you
to give you a
see it,
result
no matter how non
in this moment. How
in this
small
moment,
it is a
how
moment,
small it
minute.
is,
Mm-hmm.
that has a fat ladder in life.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to correct it then. If not, it's going to continue
Mm-hmm.
on a bigger level. It's just going to
Mm-hmm.
exacerbate, and it's
Yeah.
going to be worse at the
Mm-hmm.
end. So
No, there. And I understand. I think because you're not worried about his feelings,
mhm.
you're not worried about him feeling a certain way or liking you. You can see past that
Oh
emotion
yeah,
because majority of the time, if we want our kids, yeah, we want our kids to be happy. We would like our kids to be
right.
happy, but we have to be realistic about it.
They need
Your
correction.
kids are not going to be happy all the time, and if you start trying to please your kids all the time, who's the parent at that point?
Not
Who's
just
running shit,
and
basically?
not just who's
Yeah,
the parent, but what kind of baseline do they have for their
the
life if
future.
they have to be feel this joy
Mhm.
24 hours,
Yeah.
7 days a week. So when that no longer and that's probably why we have such a large issue with depression now. When they
Yeah.
no
Oh
longer
yeah.
get that
Yeah.
feeling, now they feel like something's wrong.
hmm
And there's nothing wrong. It's just the ebbs and flows of life. That's just how life goes.
No, you've been there's something wrong. You've been set on a
Right,
path.
right. It is
You've been
something wrong.
you've been set
You've
on a
been lied
path
to. You've been
that is not a
not a
real
realistic.
foundation.
It's not
It's
a
not a
realistic
realistic.
path.
Yeah,
It's not a
it's not a
realistic path.
realistic foundation. So when you get out in the real world and you have to deal with real world shit, Now you can't cope because your parents set you up on a unattainable journey, basically.
Yeah. So we got. Well, I got the image,
Mm-hmm.
the economics,
Mm-hmm.
the leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and that's enough to start
No,
with.
that's yeah. Yeah.
That's enough to start with. So yes, I do feel that the black community needs change, but in many different areas. But for me, those I guess I say those are my top three.
Mm-hmm.
The
Okay.
image, and I don't know if I can put them in a order as one, two, and three, but all three of those are very important because I think if you correct those, the leadership in the household,
Mm-hmm.
the economics, and then how the world sees us, how we see ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because so often I hate when people, I say hate, I dislike when people they use a negative stereotype and then try to get you. Yeah, you know how we used to, have to eat, do whatever. And I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. But why you want to drag me into
Yeah,
that
drag
shit?
me in this shit. Yeah, I
Right.
don't know nothing about this
So
shit.
I want us to start seeing ourselves in a better light,
Mm-hmm.
because we are great,
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that
as a
just to
people,
just
we've endured a lot of shit.
right, but we can achieve anything that anybody else can. So
Mm-hmm.
it's I've never thought that we were less than. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just that's my 3 cents
Yeah.
and two
So hey,
Bitcoins.
we're gonna come back next week and we're gonna follow up this because I would like any viewers coming along, I would like y'all to answer that question. Like, do you feel the black community needs to change? And give us your opinions on what you think needs to change. I mean, we're looking for answers. We're looking for a solution to the problem we're at. If we could get to that common core whatever point of reference or the place that we need to be at in this community, then maybe this message could grow. We need to get to the point to where we tell each other, okay, yeah, this is what needs to happen, and that sticks.
Hmm.
Once we get that, then we can always grow on top of that. But we need that foundation. That's what we need. We
Absolutely,
need the foundation so we could change.
absolutely.
So we need input from other people to try to get that foundation, that message out.
Yeah.
We you just can't be me and him, back and forth with this shit.
It starts
It,
somewhere,
it
man.
start, but it starts somewhere. But I say it
It's
just can't be.
it, it's it's gonna take a lot longer if
Yeah,
it's just me and you out here
yeah,
fighting
no,
this fight. So
because I mean, I would like my children, my two children, my two sons, and my grandchildren to have a better place than where we at now.
mhm,
I would like this community. They may have a better community, um, to be behind them or be around them or whatever than we have now.
right.
You know, if we continue on this current path, we're going to be in a place that there will be no community.
Yeah.
There will be none. So,
That's factual. Yeah. That's
so
real.
we have work to do.
Yeah. What to do?
So anyway, you got anything else, brother?
That's it, man. Good show, bro.
I'm gonna catch. I'm getting off so I could catch Black Girl Interrupted,
Black girl interrupted.
um, Facebook, YouTube, all other streaming platforms. And we'll see you next week.
Answer
Black
that
Male
question
Podcast.
too. Answer that question.
Yeah, answer the question. Go ahead on and put the comments. Once this off, if whoever comes along sees it, answer the question. I mean, I would like to know the answer to that question. I would like to know what you say, and I'm gonna get in there. I'm in jail right now, but when I get out of jail, I will answer back, and we will have a dialogue about this. In the next show, I'll talk about
I'm gonna have to learn how to
it.
the finesse. I keep saying that I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to learn how to work this social media game because so when you go to jail, maybe I
Yeah,
can
it could be out in the
pick
free
up,
world,
yeah,
holding me down.
hold you down while you on lock.
Uh-huh.
All right, man.
Okay, well, you'll see you next week, Tuesday 8.
All
All
right.
right. Appreciate y'all coming through. Peace.